It's time to buy, sell,
How about a damn 12 and a half, 15?
and hold.
Okay, 3 questions. Buy, sell, hold. What's on the rundown?
Buy, sell, or hold the 2-week period Trump refers to as him chickening out again.
Oh, my gosh. They're really using this taco thing on Trump with Iran, saying they've got 2 weeks to make a decision. No, sell. See, for all the talk about Trump and the crazy tweets and being irresponsible and not being focused, Trump is like the athlete who steps up his game the most in the biggest moments. He's the guy who, when literally lives are on the line, he's actually responsible. He actually thinks things through. Now, when it comes to making fun of like MSNBC TV hosts, he doesn't really care. He just says whatever's on his mind. But dating back to his first term, he has been very cautious, very well thought out, and the results suggest his foreign policy decisions over his time in office have been arguably his best moves. They've been smart, calculated, sobering decisions that have not been taken lightly. And he's more or less, no pun intended, hit the right button every time. He's learned and he's seen the mistakes of both political parties, George W. Bush, Barack Obama, certainly now Joe Biden. And he's taken all this information in, and he's basically made the right decision every single time. So for the haters who are like, oh, this is Trump chicken, come on. And if he bombed Iran yesterday, they'd say, Trump's starting World War III. Now they're like, he's waiting 2 weeks, he's chickening out. These people have zero credibility that are making this claim for Trump. He's taking the right approach day by day and letting this thing play out. What's next?
Buy, sell, or hold 18th and Vine ballpark is a good idea at the wrong time.
Yes, I will buy that. The Negro Leagues Baseball Museum here in Kansas City is a crown jewel. There's no doubt about it. It frankly deserves more. And I know that they're trying, and you know, they've done as good a job as they can do in getting that thing more national attention. But it's still, I don't think it's really as well known nationally as it should be. And it would make a lot of sense to have a ballpark that incorporates and is easily accessible to the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum. But it's not going to happen. It's not. Despite the fact that Ollie Gates threw it out there this week to KCTV5 that, hey, I want the ballpark to be down there at the 18th and Vine District, Quentin Lucas basically confirmed on the show that it's Washington Square Park or bust for KC Mo. And really, if we're looking at the Missouri side, there are 2 locations now. North Kansas City, the old bowling alley, or Washington Square Park. That's it. And it's probably going to be one of those 2 locations if I were just a betting man. But the 18th and Vine idea is a nice idea in theory, mostly to incorporate the Negro Leagues Museum. That would be a win for Kansas City. But there are a lot of reasons as to why that location is not going to happen. And Quentin Lucas basically confirmed it yesterday, John.
And it would be so Kansas City to move a ballpark 50 years away and then move back about 4 blocks away from where you were.
Well, so. Yeah. You know, and in hindsight, too, I mean, this is total 2020. I'm not saying that the Royals were wrong in their decision 2 years ago or 20 years ago to upgrade the K. But that was the time to really go downtown. I mean, that's when all the downtown stuff was being built, stadiums all over the country, like Petco Park in San Diego. A lot of these stadiums went downtown mid-2000s, early 20-teens, and that was the play then. Now you're kind of late to the game, and you know the next iteration of stadiums is going to be like, let's go to a big field and get all the parking
right as by ourselves.
Yeah, right as we finish like building whatever the new Royal Stadium's going to be.
We're so far behind, we're ahead of the time sometimes. Okay, buy, sell, or hold. Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell is politicizing an apolitical position.
This will be unpopular with some people, but I'm going to sell it. So we talked with Steve Moore about this earlier in the hour, and Steve Moore made the case that Jerome Powell is politicizing his position as Fed chair, and he's not lowering rates because of Trump and tariffs, and he's got all these reasons. Like, Powell was wrong back in 2021 on not increasing interest rates. He was dead wrong on it. He was like, oh, it's transitory. That was the line that Janet Yellen used and all these people, right? Don't worry, it's going to settle down. I mean, no, if you have any common sense, you knew we blew out the budget, we spent way too much money, and inflation was real and it was happening. And they were late. That's why Trump calls them too late Powell. But right now, I know Trump desperately wants him to cut rates because it allows him to get the interest rates down on the debt payments in the United States and will, get to some consumer spending in the U.S., but we're not close to the 2% inflation mark. We're still at like 2.5%, 3%, which might sound close, but it's, 50% off of where we need to be. So I would not cut rates right now. Powell may have been wrong in 21. I don't think he's wrong now.